Hey, everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Right now, some investors are cheering something that a company just did, and normal human beings like you and I are hurting really bad. And the sad thing is, this is a normal cycle that happens throughout history, that we see layoffs affect share prices, but they affect the real economy. Eventually it all comes falling apart, and it is happening right now. I want to share a story with you, and then I'm going to explain some things that most people don't understand. As investors are excited and they're cheering and everything's exciting, they have no idea that they themselves are about to fall for one of the greatest traps ever. And I say the greatest traps ever because it cycles through every 7 to 10 years. Here we go. Let's share this. This is coming out of Canada. But regardless of what country it's out of right now, I want you to know that this is going to affect every country. Thinkific, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Shares rise 14% after staff layoff, plans to increase profitability. It says that the shares rose Wednesday after the company said it plans to reach positive adjusted earnings by the end of 2023 by laying off employees. Boy, you got to love that. Positive adjusted earnings. Boy, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about scams, start following Wall Street and the media and how they put out their numbers and then they revise them later on. They have all these different terms to show you, somehow get you some way to them being profitable. But it is what it is, right? It says the shares were up 14% and a 2.5-month intraday high. The Vancouver-based cloud-based software platform said late Tuesday that it would shed 75 people from its workforce in an effort to reduce its expenses, align with key growth initiatives, and achieve positive adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization by 2023's close. Let me explain something right here. Now, a lot of you may be going, Ninja, this isn't a big deal. There's only 75 people. Well, first off, there's 75 people now that are getting laid off, right? That's very important. This isn't, of course, it's not Amazon, but I want to use this story as a direct example because it happens throughout all of the world to all these different companies that are publicly traded. And what happens is investors get excited because why? They're shedding employees, shedding the low-hanging fruit for, some CFOs would say, when it comes to expenses, right? So they cut the fat. They don't think about the humanitarian side of it. They should have thought about this ahead of time. But this is sort of a silicon-based model where companies literally, they go really big into debt, and then they try to achieve profitability years and years down the road, but the share price is all that matters, right? So what happens is they shed these people, and then the investors are super pumped because, look, I'm making money because the company is going to be using more of its profit that's going to be going to us because they're not going to be using the profit to going to employees' wages and benefits, things like that. But then what happens is this cycle takes effect and it gets worse and worse and worse. And what happens is 75 employees today from this company turns into 1,000 employees tomorrow from another company, which turns into 18,000 in one whack from Amazon, and it keeps going. And what happens is all of those people that are, the unemployment bubble is starting to expand. And in 2023, you are going to see this unemployment bubble reach all-time highs. It is going to be, at least in my opinion, in the last 3 years, we're going to see unemployment just boom, 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 boom. And it's going to happen almost overnight. I'm going to keep bringing stories like this to remind you, keep these ideas in the forefront of your mind, because as this gets worse and more people are unemployed and they're moving into government assistance or trying to find a job and they're either unemployed or underemployed, what happens is all that money that they do not have anymore does not get spent at restaurants, the one that you may be working at. It does not get, it doesn't purchase goods from the company that you work for. And it doesn't go out and spend money on vacations, possibly at a resort that you work at. Now think about that. Then that makes this bubble worse and worse and worse. And before you know, you may be getting laid off of your retail job or your factory job or your vacation, your hospitality job. Why? Because the unemployed people are becoming so massive. The amount of people unemployed, the amount of money is so little going into the real economy. And that's when it bursts. And then this is what I'm talking about. These shareholders are super pumped, 14% up. They're catching falling knives. It's just like the dot-com bust. It's just like the Lehman Brothers crash. This is what happens. This is where we are in the cycle, the beginning of the unemployment bubble. The Federal Reserve and central banks, some central banks, for sure the central bank of the United States, the Federal Reserve, wants this. They need this to happen. Why? Because they can't get on top of inflation. They lost control. They printed too much money. So they need to break the back of the economy. How do you do that? Raise rates, it causes companies to lay people off, right? Because companies stuff, their expenses go up. So it says right here, Thinkific, I don't know, Thinkific, whose platform helps entrepreneurs and businesses to create, market, and sell digital learning products, also reaffirmed its fourth quarter revenue target by Canadian 13.5 million and 13.7 million in its adjusted EBITDA loss target of between 5.1 million and 5.7 million. Sounds like a Silicon Valley model here. And here we go. Here's a great quote. My mandate as Thinkific's president is clear: to drive profitability and growth. President Steve Trezor said in a letter to employees, the steps we have taken today, while difficult, will sharpen our focus and are critical to executing our long-term business strategy. Now, if you don't remember, I'm put it in the comment section, I'm blanking on the name of the mortgage company that the CEO fired everybody on a Zoom call. And this was a few months prior to them going public. I don't even know if they went public or not. I wasn't following them, but it was a mass firing, and it was put out on Zoom. It was literally the most insane, just heartless way you could ever lay anyone off. As a matter of fact, if you guys put it in the comment section, remind me who it is, the company. If you were working for that company, you need to think twice if he is still the CEO. That is the last person that should be a CEO. CEO should be a leader, and a leader takes a hit at the top and takes care of those underneath them. That's what makes a great CEO. The people that want, they want to work for good people. But the Silicon Valley model is expand, debt, expand, run super high, super fast, and then start making cuts at the top to get profitable. And when you're starting out with a new company, I know people that are up there working right now in San Jose in that area for these new startups, and they get all excited. They get all these, stock options. They're just pumping and stuff. But the reality is, 1 out of 10 companies make it in Silicon Valley. They even really make it to where they're making a profit. And I think the numbers are even worse than that. There's a startup every day. There's a garage that's full of guys that are on computers pounding away for stock options that may or may not be worth anything. So you have to think about this. In this changing environment, tech is getting hit massively, just getting hit hard. And are you going to be part of that? And a lot of people say all the time, they're like, I'm immune from this. I'm a prison guard. I'm a firefighter. I'm good. I'm a teacher. I'm good. But then you've got to look at what happened during the Great Depression, and what happens if this is really bad, so much to where taxes aren't being paid. Or because remember, when everybody loses their jobs, they don't have to pay any taxes. So they're not making any money. So what happens when the government doesn't have any money to pay your government salary? Think about that. Think about your pension fund. Think about how all these things can get hit. Start using critical thinking skills to see how you could be affected, because the last thing I want is for you to lose your job and you not have any idea. I want to just open up your mind. If you're open just to the thought that my pension can get cut in half, even if the pension account is fine and solvent, but inflation doubles, my pension was cut in half. Start thinking like that, and you'll start to prepare yourself for the future, and you'll be ready for the greatest collapse in history. And I mean it. And the reason why I'm going to say it's the greatest is because I believe that this time there's going to be a lot of people ready for it, and they're going to make lots of money, because you make more money when things are going down than when things are going up. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.